All right, hello and welcome. I've been out of this for a while, just trying to get back to something fun. To my top 10 omnibus of my collection. You can see behind me some of the books I have. Just to be fair, I have not read all of these books. If I have time, I'll put up some books I have that I haven't read. But here we go, top 10 from 10 to 1. Just a quick reminder, I do this for fun. I do this because I enjoy it. Obviously, you're not going to have the same list I am. That's cool. You know, what books do you enjoy? Is there any book I didn't list that you think has to be in the top 3 or something like that? Love to hear your guys' selections in the comments below. Starting it off, coming in at number 10 is a book that I absolutely love and enjoyed. All New Wolverine is a newer series. It's definitely that type of storyline that's, I like those coming into your own type stories, or, you know, figuring things out. And so obviously the original Wolverine character has a ton of history and a lot of stories out there, and a lot of those are good. You might see that name come up again here later in the list. But this story just had something to it where it was interesting. Not necessarily like a fresh take or something you've never heard before, but the one storyline that really grabbed me in this is, you know, she's designed, All New Wolverine. I won't get into the character too much, but she's designed to be a machine of war, a killer. And so she is put in this position in one of the story arcs where she is used or uses herself or her abilities to save others. And it's just kind of this, you know, you can use the things that are intended for bad to do something good type of a thing. And just a very interesting, fun character, great art, great story. Tom Taylor writing this one. Again, another name you might see. Just really like this one. Number 10, All New Wolverine. Number 9. Coming in at number 9 is Deadpool by Jerry Duggan, and Posehn. This book made the list because every time I read it, I just laugh. It has these moments where it's just silly, outlandish, whatever the word you want to choose is. And it's just a lot of fun to read. You know, a lot of reason that I read comic books is just something fun and different. Something maybe doesn't translate to a movie or a standard book. And I just love this story. The art's good. It's funny. It's not going to change your life. But it's just, if you want to read one issue or one quick story arc and you're just looking for a good laugh and it's a good time, Deadpool could be that character. And this, of the books I have the Daniel Way. Just for some reason, this one is just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Deadpool number 9. Number 8. Coming in at number 8 is the very first omnibus I ever read, which is Ultimate Spider-Man. If you don't know anything about this story, I think it's getting a reprint here in a couple months. Spider-Man has this huge history, right? And if you're a new reader or just trying to, not even new, just within the last 10, 15, 20 years, Spider-Man goes back so far, it can feel very daunting and overwhelming. And what Ultimate Spider-Man does is it basically just kind of retells Spider-Man's first couple stories in a way that's fun and interesting. The art didn't really do it for me. I'm sorry. I think it's Bagley on the art. It's very computer, kind of bubbly, very polished looking. That's not really my style. This is the first book I recommend to people to pick up if they're interested in Spider-Man. Introduces you to the character in a fun, new, clean, exciting way, and you're just getting in there on the ground floor. But it'll also catch you up to speed if you jump into current Spider-Man. You'll feel like you know a lot more about what's going on. So at number 8, Ultimate Spider-Man, great book. Number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have Green Lantern by Geoff Johns, and specifically I picked the second omnibus. I have not read the third one, to be fair, which I believe is the beginning of the New 52. But I just love this book. I'm not a big space person. That's just not really what attracts me to comic books or stories or anything like that. I do enjoy some of those stories, but it's not something I seek out. Geoff Johns and Green Lantern, specifically Volume 2, is able to just kind of make it fun and down to earth as much as you can in a space book. And what I really love about this book is the spectrum of lanterns. So you have the different colors. Each color represents some different ability or power or strength or whatever you want to call it. And it's just a really fun read. Again, there's a lot of continuity here. I would say that you have to read the first omnibus to catch up to the second one here. I don't think you can just read the second one. But it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. Blackest Night for me, you know, okay. I think the art's good. So number 7, Green Lantern, Volume 2 specifically. Number 6. Coming in at number 6 is a book I think is going to be on a lot of people's lists, and that's Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender and art by Opeña. Sorry, Opeña, I can't remember your first name. Jerome Opeña, I think. The reason this one's 6 for me, because some of you might have this in your top 1, 2, or 3. There was 2 story arcs I really enjoyed, and there's 2 story arcs that I just kind of was indifferent or didn't really care so much for. The whole time, very entertaining. Really good take on the characters. Really gives you an opportunity to invest in each of the people on the cover here. Just a quick kind of rundown is, you know, there's a entity, a person who has the potential to be world-ending evil, like a Hitler type character, right? And is it okay to assassinate that person? What's right? What's wrong? Can they be changed? If you were to interject early in their life, can you make a difference? And just how the team forms around that concept and what they do. And it's just a great book. I wouldn't call it like fun for the kids, but definitely a good read. Has a mix of art, story, thinking, and all that. Just number 6, Uncanny X-Force. Number 5. Coming in for me at number 5 is Injustice, again by Tom Taylor. Reason this one's number 5 is because from the first issue all the way mostly through the first volume, I haven't read the second volume yet, I just had to know what was going on. I thought it was so interesting. Just, this is an Elseworlds tale. I have not played the Injustice video games. Judge me not. I have a PS4. Just never really played it. What I do know is that this story is interesting, and they do a great job scripting this. I do think the Omnibus kind of tails off towards the end, but not bad. And then Volume 2, I'm really looking forward to reading. So at number 5, great art, great story, is Injustice. Coming in at number 4, we have the Super Sons. I went with the expanded edition because there's just more comic to be had there. There is a white cover that's the original printing that has, I think, 6 to 12 less issues. Get either one. I really love this series. The reason I love this series is because it's the story of Superman's son, Batman's son, finding their way, right? They're obviously the sons of icons and these heroes and these well-known figures, and they're kind of creating their own path. And their dads are always kind of watching in the way parents would, but it's with that superhero twist. They're total opposites, and they find a way to make it work. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed this book. Tomasi's the writer. I think Jorge Jimenez does the art. Fantastic artist. I mean, you can make an argument he's one of the best to ever do it. The guy's just so talented, so clean. Love the art by Jimenez. Love the storytelling by Tomasi. Super Sons, must read. Absolutely love this book. Number 4. Coming in at number 3, top 3, here we go. Coming in at number 3 on my top 10 omnibus list is Planet Hulk. This is a must read. I love this book. It's written by Greg Pak. I forget who did the art, forgive me. If you love the movie Gladiator, it's not an Elseworlds tale. It takes place within the continuity of Marvel, but it feels like that. And it will give you the first couple issues of how the Hulk ends up on this planet. But what's interesting about this story is you get Bruce Banner's intelligence with the Hulk's characteristics and strength in this crazy setting of survival and thriving, really, and just on this distant planet. And so I love this storyline, the way it's written. It's so entertaining. There's so many kind of twists and turns, and it's just a classic. Planet Hulk is one of the only Hulk books I've ever read. Thor Ragnarok was like literally like this much of the story. So if you're just interested in that gladiator, that Roman Colosseum, a tale that's a little bit different, this is the book. Hulk, number 3, Planet Hulk. Coming in at number 2. At number 2, hands down, one of my favorite stories I've ever read is Wolverine and the X-Men. This book is getting a reprint here coming up. I love this story. This is Hogwarts with X-Men. I actually read this before I read Uncanny X-Force, and I now understand. I'd be interested to read it again, to go back through kind of in that order. I love this book. You know, Wolverine's that tough, rugged, you know, out in the wilderness or wherever these situations are, fends for himself, tough guy, and I'm the best at what I do type guy. And this puts him in a setting of a school with kids who are learning their powers and their abilities and who need guidance. And I just love this book. I love this book. I love it so much that I almost contemplated buying the new copy just as a different cover. It's just a lot of fun. This one is written by Jason Aaron, and the art starts off by Bachalo. I can never say that right. The art, Bachalo, I'm sorry if you're watching this by some small chance you're watching my channel. It's just very blocky, and it's just not my style. But the art does improve, a quarter, halfway through the book. I just love the story. So much fun. Really enjoyed this one. It's definitely worth the read. Pick up the new printing when it comes out. My guess is it will go out of print again. Wolverine the X-Men, #2. And let's go. Finale #1 here. Coming in at #1, my all-time favorite omnibus. All-time classic. I've read it in several different formats. Anyone who is new to comics or hasn't read comics, I give them this one. Say, read this, tell me what you think. And Batman, Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, absolute classic. This is the first comic book, The Court of Owls, I ever read, and just fell in love with it. It's just such a great story, great writing, great art. Everyone knows The Court of Owls at this point. And I actually really like Zero Year. I really enjoyed Zero Year. Again, I'm newer to comics. I started reading in 2015, somewhere in there, 14. And I just love this story. Story's great. I love the Zero Year storyline. I love the Court of Owls storyline. You just can't do better, in my opinion, than this comic book. It feels like a comic book with the art. It reads like a story that's interesting and different than what you've heard before. And I just absolutely love this book. So that's my list, guys. My top 10 omnibus. #1, obviously, Batman. Really enjoyed it. Would love to hear your list, maybe a short list, top 3, top 5, something like that. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for your time. Hope you guys have a great weekend or weekday, whatever day it is for you. And just take care. See ya.